What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie, here with.
What is going on, everybody? Danny Huckins here, man. 1/3 of We Are Wrestling. Me and Donnie riding solo tonight. And we got some AEW All Out 2023 predictions that are going to be coming at you. Got to be honest, bro. With All In being so close, or being All Out being so close to All In, with them, very little build going into the show. I mean, I don't doubt the matches are going to be fire, but I'm just not really crazy about a lot of the matches that are on the card, man. Got to be honest.
Hey, I'm going to be honest with you as well. I am not feeling this pay-per-view. It doesn't even feel like one. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But live this Sunday on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, Danny and myself, we are going to be going live, doing a live watch-along to AEW All Out. We hope you guys join. We always have a great time, on the streams, and, we get to watch the show with you guys. But before we dive into our predictions for this week, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're listening to the podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just a 5-star review, but a best one review, and download the episode. But if you're watching this and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know the grind is real.
Absolutely, man. So, All Out 2023 this Sunday in Chicago. I don't even know where to begin with this.
Well, I know where to begin with this. Usually when we do our, pay-per-view predictions, we like to talk about the build going into this. And we already know how you feel. We already know how I feel. So we might as well dive into the matches because, honestly, this
There's really
card
no build
is very
to be talking about.
lackluster.
Usually...
I'm not going to lie to you, Danny. This Wednesday on Dynamite, I was hoping Sammy Guevara was going to turn on Jericho, and we would have at least got something storyline-wise. But nope. Not the case at all.
It would have made a lot more sense to have Jericho and Sammy Guevara one-on-one. That would have been a huge talking point when it comes to the show.
Give us something to get excited about. Don't get me wrong, the matches are going to deliver. AEW pay-per-views, they always deliver. But when you're talking about a pay-per-view, you have to spend money on this pay-per-view. And to me, this is not worth $50.
Exactly. And if we had Jericho and Sammy Guevara, there's a lot of history there. I thought Wednesday on Dynamite, when Jericho was like, maybe you should have hit Will Ospreay harder with the bat at All In. I thought it was gonna stir something up. And then when Sammy Guevara was like, the first time you became champion, you went to an Outback Steakhouse and the title got stolen out of your rental vehicle. It would. That was the basis of the story that they could have told, man. But unfortunately, they didn't want to go down that rabbit hole.
And what they could have done too was they could have just done a match. Who's the better man at All Out, and that could have led into a bigger storyline to where you could have gotten another match at Grand Slam. Then you could have gotten another match at Full Gear, and that's where the rivalry could end. Because Sammy Guevara and Jericho, they've been together since day one. So I want to see that feud, spread out. I think that they could do a great long-term storyline.
It's going on almost 5 years that Jericho and Sammy Guevara have had some kind of working relationship in AEW. So I feel like it's going to be a huge historical moment in both their careers once they finally do break up. Because so much of, not necessarily Jericho, because he's obviously a legend. He's been around for a hot minute. But Sammy Guevara, this is the first big company and big platform, whatever, that he's worked on. So, majority of his career, so to speak, on this stage has, been tied in with Jericho. Sort of like a big brother, little brother kind of relationship. So it's going to be a huge historical moment especially for Sammy. Once that relationship, dwindles and, they go one-on-one at some point, maybe Full Gear, Maybe they wait until All In next year. I hope they don't. I do feel like there's a breaking point within the relationship. We saw that on Wednesday. But that would have been a huge talking point if they booked that for All Out. That would have been a huge. That would have been huge for Jericho too, because he just had that killer match with Will Ospreay at All In, going into All Out the following weekend, having a match with his little brother Sammy Guevara, who he's had a hell of a relationship with, and sort of tried to build him up as much as he possibly can. I mean, that would have been two back-to-back banger matches that he could have had.
And it's not like they could have just had the turn happen at Dynamite. They could have just done a thing where who's the better man at All
Yep.
Out. And they have more history than half of these matches that are on this card. And I think both you and I said this on one of the earlier episodes of the podcast not that long ago. AEW All Out should be happening at the end of September.
Yep.
It should not be happening a week after their biggest show, All In.
Yeah. I said that a couple weeks ago, I think, on the podcast, and then I was sat back, to sort of think to myself, like, obviously, like, yes, they should have like branched it out a little bit more. But it's all about the availability of the venue that they want to run, because obviously they got to rent the venue out. They got to make sure there's no events on that day or whatever. Uh, for us, it'd be very easy to sit here and be like, oh, you should have had it on that day. We don't know what the venue availability would have been like on that day. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing. Here's why they won't do it at the end of September. It's because in September, they always be doing Grand Slam now. So I feel
Hmm.
like they don't want to, foreshadow that. But realistically, having your biggest show now being All In, which I'm assuming now because next year we're getting it at Wembley again, I feel
Yep.
like this is going to be a yearly thing. So, like, having All Out a week later, that's just not good. I
I
don't
was
think.
listening to I was listening to another podcast yesterday or the day before. And one of the people on it talked about maybe AEW could just get rid of All Out and just, have All In be like their huge summer show, like their summer showcase. Especially since, like, obviously they're having it again next year. I think this is going to be a yearly thing. It's not just going to happen next year and then, oh, we're never going to do it again. You know what I mean? So maybe they can replace All Out or keep All Out and put that maybe in a different part of the calendar year, so it doesn't coincide with All In.
Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, this card is very lackluster. And I say you and we both dive into it. What do you say?
I say we get into it, man. The usually we do like to break down the build of the show and the build of the matches or whatever. A majority of the matches don't necessarily have any build, and if they do, they're on shows that I don't watch and you don't watch. Like, I mean, Samoa Joe and Shane Taylor. I don't even know who this fucking guy is. So, I mean, I, I'm gonna enjoy it because it's Samoa
Hey,
Joe.
Danny, you could find out who Shane Taylor is if you go get Honor Club $9 a month, but you don't get the pay-per-views with it.
Yeah, no, thank you. It doesn't seem like a good investment.
I rather invest in Impact Wrestling than Ring of Honor at this point. It's worse than AEW Dark, I
Uh,
think. But now let's dive into the matches. And just a disclaimer out here to the listeners, to the watchers. We're recording this Thursday night. This
mhm.
will be coming out Friday anyways, before Rampage and before AEW Collision. So, Tony Khan, he loves last minute booking. And as of right now, we have 9 matches on this card.
Either
To
that
Tony
or
Khan, that is not enough.
you could release this on Sunday because we also have payback predictions if we're gonna be doing that because payback is the day before All Out. It's a busy fucking weekend, bro. We got SmackDown, payback, All Out, and then Monday Night Raw. Bro, man, I'm tired.
CM Punk is tired as well. Dealing with children, which, by the way, to the We Are Wrestling Maniacs, tomorrow on the We Are Wrestling podcast, Danny and I are going to be talking about the entire backstage, the whole backstage fight that happened between Jack Perry and CM Punk. and some additional reports with, Tony Khan and CM Punk and all that good stuff. But that will be tomorrow.
And we do want to let you guys know, as of right now, things could possibly change. But as of right now, I believe Ben notified us earlier today that he was not able to join us for Payback on Saturday. So I think it'll just be me and Donnie for All Out and Payback on Saturday because Ben has some family stuff going on. So that, like I said, that could change by the time you guys see this. It's Thursday by when we're recording this, so we still have 2 days. But as of this moment, Ben will not be joining us on Saturday. So
I know, it's sad. But we also do have some of the We Are Wrestling extras that will be over my place as well, so we won't be lonely at least. But with that
oh
being
yeah.
said, let's dive into the matches. So, the first match we have here is the singles match for the AEW TNT Championship. Luchasaurus with Christian Cage versus Darby Allin. And I must say, before you give your thoughts on this is the one match that has been advertised for the longest time, I think, on this card.
Yeah, it's been advertised for at least a good 2 months or so. Majority of the build has been on AW Collision. They've had some appearances on Dynamite, but not much. It seems like Darby, Luchasaurus, and Christian. Darby's been in like 2 storylines. He's been doing this stuff on Collision with Christian and Luchasaurus, but he's also been, the mogul affiliates on Dynamite or whatever. So he has 2 feuds going on 2 different shows. It's kind of
Fucking
weird.
workhorse, man.
But Darby Allin definitely is a fucking workhorse, and he shows how much that he loves AEW and he loves pro wrestling. Um, I will say when it comes to this match, will it be a good match? Yes, I don't doubt it's gonna be a fucking banger. Like I said, majority of these matches are gonna be fucking bangers. I will say though, even though Luchasaurus technically is the TNT champion, I think I would have enjoyed this more if it was Christian versus Darby.
I'm with you on that one.
Just because Christian's been he's been red hot in the mic. He's been cutting these killer promos on Darby, and I feel like Christian, like, obviously he's had a historical career in WWE with like Edge and the Brood and Edge and Christian, and doing the whole comedic bit or whatever, but he never reached the heights that Edge has.
He
So
should have.
when it comes to his solo stuff, I honestly feel like this is the best run he's had in his entire career when it comes to like singles.
Oh, man, you got to go back and watch TNA in 2005 and 2006. Man, his run in TNA was legendary.
Yeah, but I don't think it was. I don't think
But
it was anywhere.
promo wise, I will say right now, promo wise, he is doing a lot better in AEW than he did in TNA and
I
WWE.
mean,
But when it
he's in
comes
the
to his
best.
in-ring work, nothing tops his TNA work in the ring.
Well, when was the last time we actually saw him in the ring? Like, he's been working on his body. He's in the best shape of his life. He's cutting some of the best promos. Even when Jack Perry was feuding with him and Luchasaurus, like, just talking some of the gnarly shit that he was saying.
Hey,
Whatever, really.
I'm not denying what you're saying because I even agree with you. Christian Cage has been very entertaining in AEW
Oh yeah.
and one of my favorite parts of Dynamite or
Like, he
Collision.
definitely, like, I feel like a lot of people were disappointed when he first came into the company because, that he came in with this gimmick, "I outwork everything," and then the first match, he fucking blew up like a balloon. Um, but I feel like over time, he's really, like, got his footing, and he's like, "I may have come in as a joke, and people, like, were really let down with my debut, but I'm gonna show them that I fucking mean to I'm supposed to be right here." You know what I mean?
Worked everyone. Love it.
He's the biggest troll in the business.
So, my thoughts, with this match, I would have preferred Christian Cage over Darby Allin. And to be honest with you, I
You mean
know Christian.
Luchasaurus?
Yes, I would have preferred Christian Cage versus Darby Allin, not Luchasaurus versus Darby, but here's the thing that I do got to say about this. I know this whole gimmick thing right now with Christian and Luchasaurus is Christian's the real TNT champion. It
Mhm.
feels like that. Luchasaurus has not done anything except look like a fucking dinosaur and do
Like,
nothing.
I
He's
meant
done absolutely nothing.
I mentioned this on my streams because obviously, for those of you that don't know, I go live on YouTube and I watch the weekly shows with everybody every week. Um, but I mentioned this I think a couple of weeks ago when I was watching Collision one night, and Christian was cutting this promo, and Luchasaurus was just standing behind him, and that reminded me so much of, remember back in the day when Kane and X Pac were tag team partners, and Kane would be sort of like the silent killer, and X Pac would just sit there and talk shit, and then Kane would handle the dirty business. I
Yep.
feel like I got like so many flashbacks of the partnership from Kane and X Pac to Luchasaurus and Christian.
Luchasaurus reminds me of Tyson Tomko. He was
Oh
Christian's,
yeah,
big guy. He pretty much Christian has always had a big guy by him, and it's always worked, which is why I think, the relationship between the two do work and they coexist well. But honestly, I would have rather Cage versus Allen, but it is what it is. I think that this is going to be a great match overall. And honestly, I'm going to say this. Darby Allin is going to win the TNT Championship.
I hope he doesn't, because we've already seen that, and Darby is one of those guys like the fans love him, bro. Like, there's nothing that he can do to make the fans boo. That's why I don't think they would ever make Darby Allin heel, just because I don't think it'll work. He's a fan
No,
favorite.
he'll
Everybody
never be a
loves
heel.
Darby Allin. Um, I don't think we've seen him as TNT champion. I don't think we need to see him as champion. There's some of those guys that you can tell the
But
guys.
here's the thing, Danny. Here's the thing. He's going to be a transitional champion because Christian Cage is going to get that championship from him. And that's what's going to lead to, his frustrations with Luchasaurus. And I think eventually Christian will find a new big man by his side. And I
That'd be awesome if they got
and I think that
Tyson
that's going and
Tomko
I
to
think that
do
that's going to help Luchasaurus elevate moving forward, I think.
It'd be awesome if TK made a little phone call to somebody like Tyson Tomko and got him involved in somehow, on a short term deal or whatever.
That would be pretty cool.
I I don't want to see that happen to Darby though. I feel like there's other ways. Like, there's so many other talent that you could put in that spot. I don't want to see Darby Allin win the title just to fucking lose it again. Like, we've seen that, when it was Samoa Joe, and like, we've seen it before. I just don't think it does anything to elevate Darby as, a talent and in-ring competitor. There's other ways that you can make that happen. You know what I mean?
So who do you got winning this?
I gotta go with Luchasaurus, man, just because it might be true what you're saying. It's just I don't want that to happen. I like Darby too much, and I don't want to see him get shit on like that.
Hey, but he's the type of person that can be one of those transitional champions because regardless how he gets booked, fans are still going to
I
love him
will
and he's
say,
still going to be very over.
if that happens, I would like for him to have at least a 2-month reign, and he could drop the title to Christian at like Full Gear or something in October, November, whenever Full Gear is.
Yeah, that's what
Like,
I would that
I don't
no,
I
that's but no,
I
that's like exactly what I would want to happen.
I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
want
want
him
Darby
to.
Allin. I would want him to go against Christian at
Yeah.
Full Gear.
I wouldn't want him to win the title and then just lose it a couple weeks later. I would like him to have at least a 2-month reign. See what he can really do with it.
Yeah, no,
Because all
absolutely.
his
I
title
agree.
reigns for the most part have been short. We've never had we've never seen Darby's full potential with the title. I'm just saying, the kind of character he is, he doesn't need a title. He's over without it. There's certain guys that you can tell like they need a title to elevate them. Darby's not one of those guys.
I will say this, I do hope one day Darby Allin does win the AEW World Championship.
I mean, that's fucking dreaming big, isn't it, man? Like,
I say like a couple years from now,
I
I
like
think.
Darby Allin, but
If he's
he's
still
not.
alive from all of his crazy
I like Darby Allin,
stunts.
man, but Darby Allin doesn't scream world heavyweight champion to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I
imagine that pop, Danny.
imagine the
Imagine.
pop. I feel like Darby would. I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot of people in this company that'd be able to, chew him up and spit him out. I can't see it. I
Never
really can't.
quits.
And I love Darby Allin. I really do. Like, I'm a huge, huge fan. I can't see him being world champion, man.
Hey, we're just going to have to wait and see. So you got Luchasaurus, I got Darby Allin. Moving
Yep.
on now to the next match on the card. This one I'm pretty excited about. We have a singles match, Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
This is definitely a match that I've been looking forward to, and I think I was watching Collision one night, and because you don't usually watch Collision, you watch it on Sundays or whatever. And I think I'm the one that messaged you, and I was like, "Bro, they're having Hobbs feud with Miro." Obviously, Powerhouse Hobbs, he's been they didn't really know what direction to put him in. He was feuding with guys that for a couple weeks and then they would just drop it. I don't even think they've finished the feud between him and Wardlow. I don't know what's going on with that. And obviously Miro was off TV for a long time. I'm really happy about this, man. I think Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs, I think they're gonna work really well together. They're both powerhouses, and I'm looking forward to seeing them beat the hell out of each other.
Finally, we got somebody that's Miro's size. I think that this definitely does make a solid storyline so far. I have enjoyed the build between the two. I really hope that this isn't the last time we see Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs
They should
fight.
continue it.
They should continue to feud after this moving forward. But I like that Collision, it seems like they know how to utilize the big men because I feel like throughout the years in AEW, they've struggled with big guys. That's
Yep.
why I'm hoping when Wardlow, comes back, he goes to Collision because I'm starting to see like a pattern here on Collision. It seems like they know how to use their bigger guys. They're more focused on the television product, while Dynamite is more for like the high spots and the holy shit chants. They're two completely different shows. And honestly, Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs, this is going to be, I think, definitely has a chance of being match of the night. And I really hope that they get a lot of time. And man, I think that this is going to be one of Powerhouse's Hobbs' best matches in his career.
It's gonna be fire, man. I can't wait to see how well they work because I don't think we've ever seen Powerhouse Hobbs and Miro work together.
Nope,
They
this is the
had they
first
had a
time.
they had a it was really cool. They had a contract signing during the buy-in for All In. That was really cool, and they had a bunch of security out there, and they started to like go at it. And
Simon Miller from Cultaholic.
the security had to pull them apart or whatever, so they tried to build a lot of intrigue for the show. I think out of all the matches on this show, I feel like this and Luchasaurus and Darby make the most sense to me.
There's another match on this card that does make a lot of sense to me as well. But who do we have winning this match?
I gotta go with Miro, man. Just because Miro, he was off TV for a long time. They didn't really have anything creative for him to do. Powerhouse Hobbs, he's lost matches, but he's also won matches, over the last couple months. So I do feel like Miro needs like a big victory under his belt. But who's to say this isn't sort of like a Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes thing to where they have three matches at the next three big shows or whatever. So this could be match one, the next match could be at like Grand Slam, and then the final match could be at like Full Gear or whatever. You know what I mean? And every single match, like this can be a regular wrestling match. The next match can have a stipulation. The third match can have some kind of stipulation. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, so this one, I think Miro is going to win this match against Hobbs. And I think after the match, Miro is going to go to shake Powerhouse Hobbs' hand out of respect, but Hobbs will not shake his hand. And that's going to piss the Redeemer off. And I think they're going to, continue where they left off. And the feud is only going to get further. I don't see Miro losing this. So I got to go Miro.
It's gonna be what did JR used to say? A bargain burner?
Slobber knocker.
Slobber knocker, man. It's gonna be a good match.
All right, moving on now to the next match on the card. We have a singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. Chris Statlander defending her title against Ruby Soho.
Um, this is a match that to be honest, man, I don't really necessarily care about. Chris Statlander was cool seeing her come back. She obviously we knew for months that Jay Cargill, she wasn't going to drop the TBS title until Chris Statlander. Like I've heard a lot of rumors in the dirt sheets about that being a creative plan that they were working on. Nobody obviously knew when. But it was we could tell that's the direction they were going for Chris Statlander to win the TBS title. Um, but I don't feel like they really did and have done anything with her since. Like she's been, she would show up one week and then she would, be off TV for 2, and then show up one week and be off TV for 3. Like,
She has been consistent on Collision. I have seen her there like every
yeah,
week.
but majority of this feud is supposed to be a Dynamite thing because that's where the Outcast and Ruby Soho, mainly are.
And
So
that's
I
what I
mean,
was going to get into with my
How are
thoughts
you
on
how are
this.
you how are you gonna get invested in it if Chris Statlander is mainly on Collision, but Ruby Soho and the Outcasts are on Dynamite? You got to have Chris Statlander on Dynamite in order to build this feud and build intrigue and make the fans want to see it. I don't give a shit about this match because we haven't really seen any kind of interaction between them except for a couple of occasions, and we saw Ruby Soho this week. She attacked Chris Statlander from behind, took the TBS title, and then just walked up the ramp with it. Like, that's not exactly my idea of,
That's not how you buy.
great.
I get it. It's not how you sell a pay-per-view for $50. I get
Exactly. Like,
exactly what you're saying.
how many times have we seen a champion get taken out and then the opponent like hold up the We've seen that. It's outplayed, bro. That happens quite a bit, and it just does not make me excited for this match. I'm sorry.
Hey,
It
it
has
would be
nothing to
more.
do with the women. It has nothing to do with the women. It has to do with the creative direction that they're going.
So my thoughts on the Chris Statlander versus Ruby Soho match. I think that this is going to be a great match overall, but I do agree with you with the lack of build. But I do think that Chris Statlander has been a pretty good TBS champion. I have been enjoying her run. She's been a reigning defending champion. And we've seen her on Collision, working with Mercedes Martinez. We've seen her be working with, Taya Valkyrie and even, Diamante as well. And that's who I would have liked to see Chris Statlander face at All Out because they have been wrestling consistently on Collision. So it doesn't
Mm.
make sense that Statlander and Soho are facing each other. I do agree with that. But it's
Yep.
going to be a very solid match. And I got to watch Chris Statlander grow. I got to watch her, Blitzkrieg Pro in the independent circuit before, coming to AEW. And this will be one of AEW's better women matches, I think.
I will say it would have made more sense because obviously, you know, they should have booked this show with a lot of the people that weren't on All In. You know what I mean? That's what I would have did first of all. So I
I
would have
agree.
probably taken Samoa Joe off there. I probably would have. I don't necessarily know if you could take Kenny Omega and Konosuke off there because I mean, everybody wants to see that match. So obviously you got to build some kind of
No, you
intrigue.
can't. They got a feud. They actually have a storyline. You can't.
Chris Statlander, I would have had her go 1-on-1 against like Mercedes Martinez, and I would have had Ruby Soho maybe go 1-on-1 against Tony Storm because of what we saw at All In, and then maybe something happens to where Saraya intervenes, and that sets up a future match in the storyline between Saraya and Tony Storm because Tony Storm hit Saraya's mother.
And you could add Ruby Soho in there and do like a triple threat match.
That would have made
There's
more
ways
sense.
of doing it, but honestly, the storyline is very lackluster, very last minute, but I think that they are absolutely going to kill it. Who do you got winning this match?
I gotta say Chris Statlander because I feel like with the split of the Outcast, I feel like Ruby's gonna have more things on her plate than worrying about the TBS title. You know what I mean? And Chris Statlander, she just came back off of a long hiatus. She was injured. She beat, Jade Cargill, who had a tremendously long title reign. So I don't see her losing the title anytime soon.
Do you think Jade Cargill is going to make her return at All Out?
I don't know, man. I heard a lot of rumblings that there's a possibility Jade doesn't want to come back to AEW. So
I
I
did
don't know.
hear that she was backstage recently. So
Well, I
there is
mean,
a possibility.
being backstage. I mean, she has a lot of friends there. She has a lot of colleagues there. Being backstage doesn't necessarily scream, "Oh, I want to come back." You don't know. She could they could have been in her town where she lives. Go to visit, see everybody. Let everybody know what she's been up to. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I don't know.
So here's who I have winning this match. I think that Chris Statlander, she's going to retain her championship against Ruby Soho. I won't be surprised if they do have Soho win the championship, only because it could further, something with the Outcast, and, you could do something there, even with Tony Storm, if she doesn't beat Soraya. So there's possibilities there, but I don't see
Here's what I
Lander
could see.
losing.
Here's what I could see. I was just thinking about it. What if Ruby Soho has Tony Storm come out with her, like to be in her corner or whatever, to make sure that she wins?
And she screws her.
No, you could have Soraya come down and start arguing with Tony Storm. Soraya gets distracted by all the commotion. She tries to get in the middle of them. Chris Statlander takes advantage and wins, and that sets up the storyline to break up the Outcasts.
That is brilliant booking right there. Couldn't have said it any better. We're going to leave it as that because I definitely see that happening. But moving on now to the next match on the card, we have a singles match for the AEW International Championship. Orange Cassidy defending his championship against Jon Moxley. Probably his biggest opponent yet.
To be honest, bro, I think this is a very real possibility that Orange Cassidy does not leave the champion.
I know.
I feel like
Wait, real quick though. What's your thoughts on the promo he cut on Dynamite?
it was great. I had to step away for a minute to grab my food from Vicky. Then when I got back, Moxie was in his face or whatever. So I didn't catch like everything that he said. Um, but I feel like we need to get Orange Cassidy to speak a little bit more. I know it's sort of outside of his, character. His character is supposed to be like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. He's just that lazy guy that he's just like, whatever, I'll do it. Everybody has that one person, their group of friends that like, you ask them if they want to do something, yeah, whatever. That I feel like that's what Orange Cassidy is. So he doesn't normally speak, but I feel like
Oh man,
I do
that's
feel like
good.
he has some kind of hidden talent when it comes to the microphone because I mean, he spoke with conviction, like motherfucker, this is my title, and there's not a damn person in this company that can take it from me. Like, you actually believed what he was saying. I mean, the dude needs to fucking speak more.
Here's what I gotta say about this. To all of like the older wrestling legends that do podcasts these days, cough cough, Jim Cornette, who calls them pockets, Orange Cassidy, and I might ruffle some feathers here, but Orange Cassidy understands the business. And I don't
Hmm.
understand why Orange Cassidy gets so much heat. He's very solid in the ring. I think that this title run has shown that. And with this character, he's over as hell with the AEW crowd. And he understands the business because you don't over exploit what you do. And Orange Cassidy might have this hidden talent of, cutting a promo, talking on the microphone, but he doesn't use it unless it matters. And in this case, it mattered because he just came off of All In, and Jon Moxley has been feuding with Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends, and Orange Cassidy has been getting banged up every week defending this championship. So the passion, it makes sense. And Orange
Hmm.
Cassidy, I think, really understands this business, but a lot of people aren't going to see that because he's just a man with his hands in his pocket with a whatever character.
Yep.
But people have to realize that at the end of the day, these professional wrestlers are playing characters. And Orange Cassidy, he's passionate about this sport. And if you did not watch that promo and you thought that he does not have passion, then damn, there must be something wrong with you
I
because
did see him.
that was fantastic.
I did see him like pie face or smack Moxie in the face a couple times.
All I know, man, is Orange Cassidy definitely sold me this match going into All Out.
I mean, obviously he's been on a very dominant reign. Like I feel like it's gonna be weird but I feel like they're making him into their version of what Roman Reigns is in WWE. I mean, he has a spear, he has the orange punch. You know what I mean? Like, he's had this. I don't even know offhand how long he's been champion. It's been like what 500 days or something like that. It's
Hey,
been
I'm
it's
gonna,
been it's been like
dude,
over a year, hasn't it?
almost a year, I think.
I mean,
Or wait, actually, no, it has been a year because I think last year at Double or Nothing, I think he wrestled. No, that was early. No, he won the title earlier this year, I think, because he
well,
beat
either
Pac.
either way, like the dude is like he defends the title almost every single week. I mean, would anybody hold it against him if he happened to drop the title to somebody like Moxley, and maybe they can continue this feud to where he could possibly get it back at some point?
I do have a hot take,
What's your hot take?
and I might get absolutely blasted when
Oh
I say
God,
this, but since we're talking about Orange Cassidy, I'm gonna say this. Orange Cassidy's Superman punch is better than Roman Reigns' Superman punch.
that's a fucking hot take and a half.
I don't know. I think the people that sell the Orange Cassidy punch, like they sell it so much better. I think. I don't know. But now, getting into this match, I do, like the storyline build that we have between the two. And honestly, I have John Moxley winning the championship. I think that if there's anybody that, Orange Cassidy is going to drop the title to, it's John Moxley. And I got to say this as well about Orange Cassidy's title run. Here's one thing I do want to say. This reign has been so legendary because almost every match that he's been put in on Dynamite or, Double or Nothing or, anytime he's defending the title, you really think that the other person that he's facing has a legitimate chance at winning the title. Like we got to see Orange Cassidy versus Swerve Strickland. I thought that Swerve was going to win the title. Orange
Yep.
Cassidy versus Daniel Garcia. I thought Garcia was going to win the championship. So it's been very
Hey, I
unpredictable in my
got the
life.
answer. Um, Orange Cassidy won the title on October 12th, 2022 against Pac.
Yeah, so almost about a year now.
A
That's
legendary
insane.
ship. And he's been defending the title almost every single week consecutively. How many consecutive weeks in a row have we seen, or have we started Dynamite hearing Orange Cassidy's music and he's coming out and defending the title? I don't think there's a person in this company he hasn't defended the title against yet. Maybe a couple people, but I mean, I think John Moxley, man, should win this title. And everybody knows, like, even though Orange Cassidy keeps his title in a backpack, you can sort of tell how much this title means to him because of how long he's been champion, the significance of it. What if John Moxley wins it and then they carry on the feud between him and Orange Cassidy, but John Moxley just does nothing but disrespects the title and acts like he doesn't give a fuck about it and it's a piece of trash and it shouldn't be in this fucking company. And that could really get Orange Cassidy fucking going.
So here's what I think is going to happen. John Moxley is going to beat Orange Cassidy for the championship. And I think that John Moxley, he's also going to be a pretty good defending champion as well, because the whole Blackpool Combat Club thing, he wants to bring, prestige to the championship. And I think seeing John Moxley with the mid card title, I think that's going to be that's going to be just, fresh air. I think it's going to be different. And honestly, I think that this could definitely benefit John Moxley. But I still think that a vacation would benefit him the most. But
Yeah,
hey,
what happened to that? What
we
happened to that fucking beach vacation that he was supposed to take
six
in the
weeks,
Bahamas? He was
6
supposed to.
weeks.
Well, he's like fucking 5 months, too late.
He's a year late now. But man, honestly, I would not mind seeing Mox beat Cassidy, and hopefully they further the feud.
Hopefully, man. But I like just like the kind of character that John Moxley is. I think it would elevate the feud even more and add more story to it if John Moxley wins the title and just treats the title like it's a piece of garbage. And that really gets Orange Cassidy angry. Could you imagine an angry like Orange Cassidy is talented now, but can you imagine how talented it would be if he was angry? Instead of just
Very
this
true.
like, oh, I don't care. Like really get him fucking going, man. Oh, I can't wait.
Moving on now to the next match, we have a singles match: Kenny Omega versus Takeshita with Don Callis.
I'm actually really looking forward to this match. They've been setting it up for weeks. Obviously,
What do you
Don
mean
Callis,
weeks? Months, man. They have been
well,
feuding for
months.
months.
It pretty much all started when Don Callis used a screwdriver right in the forehead of Kenny Omega. During the wasn't that during the Blood and Guts match?
Nope. That was, actually, wait.
It was in a cage match. I know that it was in
It was,
Blood and Guts. I
nope,
think.
not the Blood and Guts match. It was in, I think, a regular cage match.
Well, either way. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing what they did. I did like how on Dynamite this week, how it showed Konosuke and I can actually say it's fucking Takeshita. I have a
Or
hard difficult
or
time.
what MJF says. Take a shitta.
Take a shit up. Takeshita. I have a hard time saying his last name. That's why I say Konosuke. I did like on
I have an
Dynamite.
you know what's funny? I have an easier way of saying his last name, Takeshita, more than his first name. So for
That's
now
why
on, you can say the first name, I'll say the last name. Continue.
Konosuke.
Takeshita.
Yes,
Woo.
we worked as a team. I did
For
like how on
once.
Dynamite this week, how Don Callis and Konosuke were backstage at the video monitor, and Don Callis was showcasing all of Kenny Omega's weaknesses.
You know where he got that from?
Mm.
Oh, Stevie Richards, man. He's been doing videos like that, going over moves and stuff, and he goes on to the TV, and he circles things, and pretty much shows the pros and the cons of certain moves and stuff. So I think Don Callis got some inspiration from that. Just a little hidden gem right there.
Why don't they bring in fucking Stevie Richards for fucking doing something backstage or something?
Because
Um,
he does podcasting a lot with Vince Russo,
oh,
somebody who's on AEW's blacklist.
that's probably why. But I did like that quite a bit. And I feel like with Don Callis, I didn't realize how long Don Callis knew Kenny Omega. Like, I'm not aware anything outside of AEW. I don't have a lot of knowledge of. So like a lot of Kenny Omega, I know he was like a huge. He was like the fucking Roman Reigns at one point of fucking New Japan and stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
I am not familiar with much of that run at all. I didn't know who Kenny Omega was until I started watching AEW. So, but I didn't realize how long or the in-depth relationship that him and Don Callis have. You know what I mean? It seems like Don Callis seems like he has a relationship with fucking everybody. Um, but
The jackal.
I'm really gonna enjoy this match. Konosuke Konosuke as well as Kenny Omega, both great athletes. They're gonna blow the roof off this building. I can tell you that much. This is if this match is not the main event, I don't know another match on this show that's worth the main event. Obviously, you could probably say like Adam Cole and MJF defend their ROH tag titles. But it does. I mean, at the end of the day, bro, those are just ROH tag titles. They don't really have any kind of significant meaning.
Well, now
And
they
I don't
do,
think.
because Better Than You, baby, is holding
Well,
them.
yes, but it's not going to hinder Adam Cole and MJF to not be the main event. I feel
True.
like Kenny Omega and Konosuke is a much bigger match than whatever that match is going to be,
Oh, I
regardless
agree.
of who's in it.
Or you could do Orange Cassidy versus John Moxley in the main event. That would be pretty cool too.
I still say
But
Kenny
I would
Omega and
rather
Konosuke.
Omega and Takeshita as
Just because
well.
of the long, in-depth history, and you have Don Callis in there, and obviously Kenny Omega has known Don Callis since he was like a child, I guess. I don't know if that was just a work promo or if it was a
Nope,
shoot.
that's real.
So just like the in-depth history of this, I feel like Konosuke and Takeshita and Kenny Omega, it needs to be the main event. I can't see another match being the main event.
So, my thoughts on, Kenny Omega versus Takeshita. I think that this is definitely, for me, probably the match that I'm the most excited about. It has, the longest, build to it. And I even said I wanted Kenny Omega versus Takeshita at All In. I didn't want Kenny Omega to be in a random trios match. But they did make it work because Takeshita, pinned him. He, pulled an upset. And honestly, the way that they're building this, it makes perfect sense. And
Yeah.
honestly, this I think could be the match of the night, in my opinion.
I feel like at All In, obviously, you were very critical about Kenny Omega being in a tag match as opposed to a singles match. But I feel
Yes, because
like,
I want the best of the best to go at it.
but like having Kenny Omega go in there and having Konosuke beat him and get the pinfall victory, I feel like that's how you elevate talent.
Yep.
That's how
That's
you make
why,
superstars.
but that's the thing. That's why I'm saying I'm okay with the decision now because we have a actual solid match for All Out that makes sense. It's not just thrown out there, which I like. And
And
Takeshita hasn't had a big pay-per-view singles match yet. So I
I
think that
feel
this
like
is definitely a great move for AEW.
I feel like before All In, people thought of Konosuke as sort of like a joke. Like, they knew he was talented, but they like obviously nobody thought he would ever be able to beat somebody, of the legendary status that is Kenny Omega. Because Kenny Omega in pro wrestling, among the hardcore fans, Kenny Omega is bigger than Roman Reigns to a lot of people. Roman Reigns is more
Sports
massive on a
entertainment.
global scale, to where everybody knows him, but when it comes to like hardcore pro wrestling fans that consume every bit of pro wrestling, New Japan, AAA, all these different promotions, Kenny Omega is like their Roman Reigns on like, on a little bit of a smaller scale. So seeing Konosuke beat him, get the pinfall victory, even if it wasn't a singles match, that elevated him. And I feel like that's the turning point to where people started to take this guy serious. And I feel like we're going to see a hell of a match come Sunday. And I'm really looking forward to this match because of the build, the significance of it. Don Callis being in Konosuke's corner and the history that he's had with Kenny Omega. By God Omega.
Kenny, my God, Omega.
I mean, it's gonna be great. And like I said, this match needs to be the main event, man. I can't see another match on this card being the main event. I just can't. Maybe Orange Cassidy and John Moxley, but even Kenny Omega and Konosuke, it's a much bigger match than that.
All right. Well, who do we got winning this?
Um, I gotta go with Kenny Omega, but like I said, it doesn't mean obviously they're gonna continue after this. So that's not me saying Konosuke is not able to beat Kenny Omega. But I feel like something happens. I don't see Kenny Omega losing 2 matches in a row, getting pinned 2 matches in a row. I just don't see it.
I think that Kenny Omega is going to beat Takeshita. I think Kenny Omega is definitely long overdue for a big singles win, especially on a pay-per-view. So I got to go with Kenny Omega.
It's gonna be a good
But
match though.
but moving on now to our next match, we have an 8-man tag team match, Bullet Club Gold. Austin Gunn, Colton Gunn, Jay White, and Juice Robinson versus FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Hardwood, and the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson.
I was thinking about this match, and like when I was watching Dynamite this weekend, obviously we saw at All In, FTR tried to shake the Young Bucks' hand, and they weren't about it. Um, and then obviously we saw the backstage footage on Dynamite this week of them like, FTR being like, why didn't you guys shake our hand? We're trying to be good sportsmanship, and the Young Bucks outright being like we started this, man. We started this entire event. We invented it. We started this company. And we lost one of the biggest matches of our entire career. We were really upset about it. So it does make a lot of sense. Bullet Club Gold, I am a huge fan. And like there's still assholes online. Oh, Jay White is buried. He's buried. The Bullet Club Gold is one of the top factions in pro wrestling.
You could thank Collision for that.
Collision, man. Even though I don't watch it every week, it's been a couple weeks that I've missed, unfortunately. Um, Still the best pro wrestling show hands down of the entire week. There's a lot of people that don't watch it because it's on a Saturday, and if you're one of those people, obviously, there's things that come up or whatever, but you can always, watch it on Sunday morning when you're eating your fucking Cheerios.
That's me.
Like this fucking guy, man. So if you're watching this, you don't watch Collision, you don't think it's worth your time. It definitely is. Watch it. Um, but this match, I would have had the Young Bucks stay off of this card because obviously they just had the match all in. You don't need them on two big pay-per-views, back to back. I would have much rather Jay White and Juice Robinson versus FTR because of what we saw in Collision where they went 57 minutes.
Or you could
That
have done,
that match,
Austin and Colton Gunn versus FTR as well.
or you could have done Austin and Colton Gunn versus the Young Bucks, brother versus brothers, and have Juice Robinson and Jay White versus FTR. FTR versus FTR versus Jay White and Juice Robinson, that would have been worth $50 alone because of what we saw on free TV. You think they went crazy on free TV going 57 minutes. Imagine what they would have done on a show to where people had to pay $50 to watch it. Oh my fucking god, bro. I'm getting a little worked up in my skibbies. That would have been a good match, but I do think this match at the end of the day is going to be a banger. You can't have all 8 of these guys in the ring and have this not be a fucking masterpiece. It's gonna be great.
This is going to be a banger match. Don't care about this match. Bullet Club Gold and FTR have been on AEW Collision. The
Yep.
Young Bucks have been on Dynamite. So it really doesn't make sense that the Young Bucks are feuding with Bullet Club Gold. Just like when the Bullet Club Gold attacked Kenny Omega and Hangman to make a last minute, trios match. That's
Yep.
why I was frustrated with the whole Kenny Omega being in a trios match, because it was just random and it wasn't really anything that was captivating.
Yep.
But with this match, don't get me wrong, I think it's going to be great, but I really don't care about this match. And it sucks because I do love the Bullet Club Gold. I am a fan of the Young Bucks and I'm a fan of FTR, but I would have rather had something different.
Yeah, the match is gonna be a banger. It's hard for me to get invested with it.
Let's be real here. They're only putting this match on here because they do need to put asses in seats.
Yep, and obviously, you can't have Bullet Club Gold, FTR, and the Young Bucks in the ring and have it not be a fucking classic. The match is gonna be great.
Of course, it's going
It's
to be
all
great.
about the build and the execution of it that I'm a little bit upset about. Having All In and then the following weekend have All Out. Very little time for build there. I did like in the beginning, a couple weeks ago, whatever, where they started to sort of build and tease, Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs or whatever. They were doing a really good job, sort of, building All In as well as All Out. But I
I
feel
agree.
like even All In, I feel like even though the show I feel like was one of the best pay-per-views AEW's been on a global scale, being in front of 81,000 people. Like nobody thought they would be able to sell 10,000 seats, let alone 81,000. So, everything AEW is doing is really good for the pro wrestling business, and it shows that people want to consume the product. And just even WWE and New Japan and TNA or Impact, whatever, like people want to consume pro wrestling. And it
And
was great
exactly that's
seeing
the
All
point,
In.
man. Pro wrestling right now, everybody's winning. There's no war.
Exactly. But I feel like they All In with the global scale that it is, that should have easily had a 2-month build. You should have
Should
been
have.
building that 2 months before the fucking show, bro.
Should have. I agree.
And then you could have also, like, the final month before the show, like, have like one full month build towards, All In. You could also carry over into August until the show. But like at the beginning of August, they should have started the build for All Out. That way you can have legitimate stories. And obviously you might needed to wait. And this is where, it comes into play as it's not a good thing to have, two major shows back to back like this in consecutive weekends. Is you really don't know which direction the story's gonna go or each story's gonna go until the event is finished. And then obviously having All In, All Out, Like until they knew what exactly was going to transpire at All In and how people were going to, like certain things, they didn't know which direction to go for All Out. And this is why it's a bad idea to have two major shows back to back in consecutive weekends like this.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it any better, but who do we got winning this match?
I gotta, I gotta go with Bullet Club Gold, man. You know, FTR and the Young Bucks. Obviously they're great. I'm a huge fan of FTR. They're like, you know, they're just like. I feel like they were born in the wrong time period, or they were around like they should have. They're flashbacks of like the 80s and early 90s with the Owens and the Bretts and the Razor Ramones and stuff like that. The Young Bucks, I feel like, um, very flashy. Obviously, they started AEW, but the Bullet Club Gold, I feel like they're very underrated. People don't take them serious, and I feel like they have yet to have that big moment. So I feel like if they were gonna have a big moment, it's gonna be this match.
I'm going with Bullet Club Gold because I think FTR and the Young Bucks, they are going to clash heads. And I think that they're going to build another, FTR versus Young Bucks 4, and it's going to happen at Grand Slam. So I think Bullet Club Gold, they
I
need
could
this
see,
bigger. I think the Bullet Club Gold, they need a big win. So I think that they're going to get it.
and here's what I could see. I could see FTR and the Young Bucks clashing heads. And obviously FTR, and a big rule that people don't always follow is you don't pin your champions during non-title matches. You want to build prestige, you want to build, power for them. You don't pin your champions, especially in non-title matches. I could see FTR sort of walking out on the Young Bucks and having maybe Austin or Colton pinning either Nick or Matt and them getting the victory. And that causes Bullet Club Gold to sort of get elevated, but it also could potentially maybe do a rematch with FTR and the Young Bucks down the road.
Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But I do think Bullet Club Gold, they're going to win.
I definitely think so too, man. I'm gonna
Alrighty.
enjoy it.
Well, the next match we have here, let's try to keep this one short and sweet. We have a singles match for the ROH World Television Championship. Samoa Joe defending his title against Shane Taylor.
I like Samoa Joe, man. I'm a huge fan of his work as Sweet Tooth in the Twisted Metal series on Peacock. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I binged it the day it came out. It's fucking amazing. Um, Shane Taylor, obviously a Ring of Honor talent. I don't watch Ring of Honor. I don't know what's on Ring of Honor. I know very little. I don't watch any clips. I don't watch anything like that. So I'm not too familiar with who he is. And therefore it makes me not want to care. The only reason I somewhat care about this match, and it's very minimal,
Samoa
because
Joe.
Samoa Joe's in it, and I'm a huge fan of Samoa Joe. But I will say this: I don't think it'll hinder Samoa Joe in any way. But I honestly hope Shane Taylor beats him for the title, and Samoa Joe gets put back on either Collision or Dynamite. I
Collision.
get the guy off of fucking Ring of Honor, bro. The dude should be a multi-time world champion. The dude does not need to be on fucking Ring of Honor wrestling in front of 10,000 people.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. This is going to be very lackluster. Not a fan of Ring of Honor. I refuse to pay $10 a month for Honor Club. I know you get the whole library, cool, but you don't even get the pay-per-views included. At least with Peacock and WWE, you get the pay-per-views included with all of like the crazy documentaries and all the good stuff there. So it's actually worth the money. But Ring of Honor is not. Oh, Danny's got a shocked face.
I'll say it has nothing. It doesn't pertain to this. I was just thinking about what date it is. You can cut this out. What day does the Kurt Angle documentary come out?
I have no clue.
I thought it came out on the 30th, but it might come out on Saturday.
Yeah, I
Oh
think it's
no!
after pay. I think it's after Payback.
Shows how much I don't give a fuck about this match because I'm talking about something that doesn't pertain to this. But carry on.
Yeah. So if the We Are Wrestling Maniacs want Danny and I, and maybe even Ben, to watch Kurt Angle's documentary and do a whole podcast review on it, smash that like button. Let us know, because we'd love to do that. Definitely more excited about this than most of the matches on this card. But
Samoa Joe deserves so much better, bro. How can you have him though? How at all in? How can
he
you have him
goes
face
from wrestling CM Punk to a fucking nobody
in a matter of a weekend, bro? A week. How does that happen?
I have watched Shane Taylor wrestle. He's decent. He's mid.
Have
Why
you
are we
ever?
putting a Ring of Honor match on an AEW pay-per-view? Why?
You'll probably know this. A lot of we get some Ring of Honor people at Blitzkrieg once in a while. Has he ever been one of the people that they brought in?
Nope.
So I don't know who the fuck this guy is then.
I watched him, but he's just mid. He's nothing special in my opinion. Maybe back in the day in Ring of Honor he was, but today he's mid. And honestly, that's the thing. Like, why are we getting a Ring of Honor match on this pay-per-view? There's so many AEW talent that aren't being utilized on this card. Like, why is Andrade not on this card against maybe Malachi Black?
Bro, Malachi versus Andrade.
We've had that build going on
But I gotta
during
say,
Collision.
man, and we've said at the beginning of this podcast, we still have Rampage and we still have Collision. And I heard through the grapevine, man, that apparently Tony Khan, the day we're recording this, Tony Khan did like a press call with like all the press and all the media and stuff, talking about All Out. And apparently Tony Khan has went on record and stated that he's thinking about putting CM Punk on the show, but he's not going to announce it until Sunday. We're not going to know until the day of the show whether CM Punk is going to be on the show or not.
Well,
And
wait, hold on. I got to do a quick segue here. Hopefully CM Punk is on the card because Jack Perry was the one that started that whole fight, and we're going to be diving into all that during tomorrow's episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast.
And I gotta say, cool, because obviously I'm gonna just out it because we're not gonna be watching anyway. So if you guys don't want to be spoiled, earmuffs. Apparently on Saturday on Collision, they're gonna be having a segment between Ricky Starks and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. They're potentially thinking about having Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Ricky Starks in a strap match. Now, here's what I have to say about this. I think that's a horrible idea. I could see CM Punk intervening in this whole contract signing and wrestling, in part of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. So Ricky Steamboat can be in CM Punk's corner, and it can be CM Punk versus Ricky Starks for the real World Championship.
Yeah, I think that we could definitely see that happening. And I love that, like, we're talking about other things besides this horrible Ring of Honor World Television Championship match.
Samoa Joe deserves so much fucking better, bro. TK,
but here,
what the fuck are you doing?
I want to say one more thing before we move on from this, because this has been way too long talking about this.
I'm waiting to eat my food, man. Hurry up.
So, here's the thing about this. I think that Ring of Honor needs to become a developmental promotion for AEW, because you're just wasting Samoa Joe's time. You're wasting Claudio's time, and it's not really good right now. So you just need to make it a developmental. Put guys like Kip Sabian, Butcher, Blade, Ryan Nemeth, these guys that aren't getting opportunities on, AEW Dynamite or Collision, and put them over on Ring of Honor and just let them develop. But honestly, I'm hoping Shane Taylor wins the title, because Samoa Joe does not deserve to be on, Honor Club for $10 a month. He should be on regular television.
Get this, man.
I'm going.
I want to see
Taylor.
I want to see Samoa Joe against Powerhouse Hobbs. I want to see Samoa Joe versus Miro. I want to see Samoa Joe versus Ricky Starks. I want to see Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole versus MJF. Like, there's so many matches. Malachi, Brody King.
Buddy Matthews.
Brody King versus Samoa Joe would be a fucking banger, bro. And there's nobody that can tell me otherwise. There's so many matches just sitting here thinking about it. What the fuck are you doing, man? Like I understand, obviously that Samoa Joe's champion, Athena's champion, uh uh MJF and Adam Cole are champion. They're trying to get more interest into Ring of Honor
Make
by
it a
Warner Brothers.
developmental promotion.
Yeah, man. Oh fuck.
So we're both going with Shane Taylor because we want Samoa Joe to be better.
Yes.
The next match we have here is a tag team match. Eddie Kingston and Shibata versus the Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio and Wheeler Yuta.
I feel like there's too many tag team matches on this fucking card. I would much rather have Eddie Kingston versus Claudio 1-on-1.
Yep, me too. That's why I don't care for this match whatsoever. We should have just gotten Kingston versus Claudio. They have the history. They have the storyline there. They should have just done it. This makes absolute no sense whatsoever. Who do you got winning this?
I gotta. It's hard to say, man.
I'm going Blackpool Combat Club.
I'm pretty sure Blackpool Combat Club are gonna win, but I'm just such a fan of Eddie Kingston. I don't want to see him lose. So see the predicament here. I gotta go with Blackpool
Shibata's
Combat
gonna get
Club
pinned.
too. If that's the case, yes, then I'll go with Blackpool Combat Club.
And then I feel like Wheeler Yuta will be the one to pin him, and then probably go for the Ring of Honor championship that this guy has. I don't even know what it is.
Who knows, man?
But moving on now to the last match that was announced as of recording this video or this podcast. We have a tag team match for the ROH World Tag Team Championships. Better Than You, baby, Adam Cole and MJF versus the winner of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Battle Royal on Rampage. Do you know who won this?
Yes, I do.
Tell me who it is, please.
The Dark Order.
No fucking way you're lying to me right now.
Look it up, bro. There's a lot of reports saying that Dark Order won.
No actual fucking way the Dark Order won this match. The Hardy Boys were in this. I don't believe you. You're fucking with me right now. Hold on a minute. Did they? I'm not seeing anything. Hold on. Dark Order. Let me see if I write MJF and see if it pops up. Wait, I see a meme. Hold on.
No, ain't no way.
There's no way, bro. The Dark Order is actually wrestling on All Out.
But the House of Black aren't. The Acclaimed aren't.
Oh my god. Oh, holy shit. Oh my god.
And against MJF and Adam Cole.
Let me get this straight. On Rampage, this Battle Royal, you could have even had the Best Friends go against them, who just came off a big win. You could have had the Hardy Boys. That right there could put asses in seats, Danny.
Yep.
You could have had the Hardys versus Better Than You, baby. Are you fucking kidding me? Honestly, I honestly don't want to spend the money now. This is fucked. Yeah, then
Alex Reynolds and John Silver won the tag team battle royal.
God.
When Silver eliminated Best Friends Trent Beretta.
Dude, the Dark Order, man. The Dark Order, bro. That was so 2020. What the fuck?
And this is on Cage Side Seats. I typed in AEW Rampage spoilers.
This is bullshit. I'm so mad now. If there's any We Are Wrestling Maniacs that have a link to like a free AEW All-In, please send it to me because I really don't want to spend $50 on the Dark Order versus Better Than You, baby.
I mean, when you ordered All In, they gave you apparently they were giving out bundle deals to where you could get like buy full price for All In and then half price for All Out, whatever. That way you didn't have to spend.
Well,
$50.
Bleacher Report fucking sucks. I didn't see that option. Tony Khan, get on real pay-per-view. All right, who do you got winning this tag match?
Do you even have to ask? Can I eat my French toast now?
I can't believe I waited for this match to be the main event just to find out that the Dark Order is the ones going.
I found this out last night. Why do you think I mentioned a lot of other matches that could be the main event except for this one?
I see why now. I see why. I'm actually like shocked. And to the We Are Wrestling Maniacs that are listening or watching this, I really didn't know the spoilers for Rampage. So I am very shocked. And you guys got a legitimate reaction out of me for what to expect. So thank you, Danny. I'm not going to be tuning into Rampage later on.
Bro, I haven't watched Rampage in months.
Well, I was excited for this until I found out the Dark Order won. So, yeah, we got better than you, Bebe, winning. What kind of question is that? But anything else you want to say in this predictions that you think is going to happen?
Bro, like, we're going to have to wait until I don't even... Should I look real quick to see if anything else got mentioned?
Might as well. Might as well check it real quick. Fucking Dark Order. Oh, my God. I want John Silver to be a singles wrestler.
Apparently, after the match, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis got into a fight with Chris Jericho at the announce desk. Sammy Guevara came to Jericho's aid. I'm not seeing anything else like that. Like nothing else got mentioned about All In or All Out.
I think your pussies are fighting.
Yeah, they are. I got All Out right here. I ain't got to pay $50.
You got the Dark Order right there. So to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there, let us know in the comment section below how you feel about AEW All Out. Let us know your predictions. And to all the listeners out there, give us a 5-star review. Not just a 5-star review, but a best one review. And download the episode. But if you guys enjoyed the AEW All Out predictions, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. The link's down in the description below. You can go follow Danny and I over on our social medias and personal YouTube channels. All the links down below. And addition, if you want to get extra content and, some wrestling news, recommend you guys to go follow us over on Instagram, Twitter, X, Facebook, or even TikTok. All the links down below. And of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we will be live Sunday for AEW All Out. If you want to join Danny and I for the watch along, we'll be there interacting with you guys. And of course, you already know, we are taking over. Peace.
Our watch along is going to be the only thing that saves us from fucking boredom when it comes to the show, man.
Absolutely agree with you. Peace.